From these statements, therefore, it hath been made evident and manifest that, should a soul in the end that knoweth no end be made manifest and arise to proclaim and uphold a cause which in the beginning that hath no beginning another soul had proclaimed and upheld, it can be truly declared of him who is the last and of him who was the first, that they are one and the same, inasmuch as both are the exponents of one and the same cause. For this reason hath the point of the Bayan, may the life of all else but him be his sacrifice, likened the manifestations of God out of the sun, which, though it rise from the beginning that hath no beginning, until the end that knoweth no end, is none the less the same sun. Now wert thou to say that this sun is the former sun, thou speakest the truth. And if thou sayest that this sun is the return of that sun, thou also speakest the truth. Likewise, from this statement it is made evident that the term last is applicable to the first, and the term first applicable to the last, inasmuch as both the first and the last have risen to proclaim one and the same faith. Notwithstanding the obviousness of this theme in the eyes of those that have quaffed the wine of knowledge and certitude, yet how many are those who, through failure to understand its meaning, have allowed the term seal of the prophets to obscure their understanding and deprive them of the grace of all his manifold bounties? Hath not Muhammad himself declared, I am all the prophets? Well, no, he's on the path of all the prophets. Hath he not said that, as we have already mentioned, I am Adam, Noah, Moses, and Jesus? Well, that's being colorful with the translation, but why should Muhammad, that immortal beauty who hath said, I am the first Adam, be incapable of saying also, I am the last Adam? For even as he regarded himself to be the first of the prophets, that is Adam, in a like manner of the seal of the prophets. No, they're twisting things. He knew which order he came in. It is also applicable unto that divine beauty. It is admittedly obvious that being the first of the prophets, he likewise is their seal. Now, the exemplar prophets. That doesn't mean that nobody is spiritually gifted ever again. And what does a seal do? You seal a letter, and, well, the letter's done being written, right? That doesn't mean the letter can't be passed on and benefited when it's opened. And the mystery of this theme hath, in this dispensation, been a sore test unto all mankind. Behold, how many are those who, clinging unto these words, have disbelieved him who was their true revealer. What, we ask, could this people presume the terms first and last, when referring to God, glorified be his name, to mean, if they maintain that these terms bear reference to this material universe? How could it be possible, when the visible order of things is still manifestly existing? Nay, in this instance, by first is meant no other than the last, and by last no other than the first. Even as in the beginning, that hath no beginnings, the term last is truly applicable unto him who is the educator of the visible and the invisible. In like manner are the terms first and last applicable unto his manifestations. They are at the same time the exponents of both the first and the last. Whilst established upon the seat of the first, they occupy the throne of the last. Were a discerning eye to be found, it will readily perceive that the exponents of the first and the last, of the manifest and the hidden, of the beginning and the seal, are none other than these holy beings, these essences of a detachment, these divine souls. And wert thou to soar in the holy realm of God, was alone, there was none else besides him, thou wilt find in that court all these names utterly non-existent and completely forgotten. Then will thine eyes no longer be obscured by these veils, these terms and allusions. How ethereal and lofty is this station, unto which even Gabriel, unshepherded, can never attain, and the bird of heaven, unassisted, can never reach. And now strive thou to comprehend the meaning of this saying of Ali, the commander of the faithful, Amir al-Mu'minin, piercing the veils of glory unaided. Among these veils of glory are the divines and doctors living in the days of the manifestations of God, who, because of their want of discernment and their love of eagerness for leadership, have failed to submit to the cause of God, nay, have even refused to incline their ears unto the divine melody. They have thrust their fingers into their ears. See Al-Quran, Surah 2:19. And the people also, utterly ignoring God and taking them for their masters, have placed themselves unreservedly under the authority of these pompous and hypocritical leaders. For they have no sight, no hearing, no heart of their own to distinguish truth from falsehood. A lot of people talk about fiqh as if they really have understanding. You don't have understanding because you've memorized somebody else's understanding. Notwithstanding the divinely inspired admonitions of all the prophets, the saints, the chosen ones of God, enjoining the people to see with their own eyes and hear with their own ears, they have disdainfully rejected their counsels and have blindly followed and will continue to follow the leaders of their faith. Should a poor and obscure person, destitute of the attire of the men of learning, address them, saying, "Follow ye, O people, the messengers of God," see Al-Quran, Surah 36, Ayat 20, they would, greatly surprised at such a statement, reply, "What meanest thou, that all these divines and all these exponents of learning, with all their authority, their pomp and pageantry, have erred and failed to distinguish truth from falsehood?" Well, I don't think completely, but, certainly in part. "Dost thou, and people like thyself, pretend to have comprehended that which they have not understood? If numbers and excellence of apparel be regarded as criterions of learning and truth, the peoples of a bygone age, whom those of today have never surpassed in numbers, magnificence, and power, should certainly be accounted a superior and worthier people. It is clear and evident that whenever the manifestations of holiness were revealed, the divines of their day have hindered the people from attaining unto the way of truth. To this testify the records of all the scriptures and heavenly books. Not one prophet of God was made manifest who did not fall a victim to the relentless hate, to the denunciation, denial, and execration of the clerics of his day. Woe unto them for the iniquities their hands have formerly wrought. Woe unto them for that which they are now doing. What veils of glory more grievous than these embodiments of error? By the righteousness of God, to pierce such veils is the mightiest of all acts, and to rend them asunder, the most meritorious of all deeds. May God assist us and assist you, O concourse of the Spirit, that perchance ye may, in the time of his manifestation, be graciously aided to perform such deeds, and may, in his days, attain unto the presence of God. Furthermore, among the veils of glory are such terms as the seal of the prophets, and the like, the removal of which is a supreme achievement in the sight of these base-born and erring souls, all by reason of these mysterious sayings. These grievous veils of glory have been hindered from beholding the light of truth. Have they not heard the melody of that bird of heaven? Referring to Imam Ali. Uttering this mystery, 1,000 Fatimas have I espoused, all of whom were the daughters of Muhammad, son of Abdullah, the seal of the prophets. We don't have to go all Scientology, we are thousands of Thetans thing, but, we're really a combination of aspects, aren't we? So if he married a good woman with thousands of good features, behold, how many are the mysteries that lie as yet unraveled within the tabernacle of the knowledge of God? How and how numerous the gems of his wisdom that are still concealed in his inviolable treasuries. Shouldst thou ponder this in thine heart, thou wouldst realize that his handiwork knoweth neither beginning nor end. The domain of his decree is too vast for the tongue of mortals to describe, or for the bird of the human mind to traverse, and the dispensations of his providence are too mysterious for the mind of man to comprehend. His creation no end hath overtaken, and it hath ever existed from the beginning that hath no beginning, and the manifestations of his beauty no beginning hath beheld, and they will continue to the end that knoweth no end. Ponder this utterance in thine heart, and reflect how it is applicable unto all these holy souls. Likewise strive thou to comprehend the meaning of the melody of that eternal beauty, Hossein, son of Ali, who, addressing Solomon, spoke words such as these: I was with 1,000 atoms, the interval between each and the next atom was 50,000 years, and to each one of these I declared the successorship conferred upon my father. And one of the things about the word atom, civilized man. So the spiritual civilization can be ended from among humanity to a certain extent and have to be revived. So he then recounteth certain details, until he saith, I have fought 1,000 battles in the path of God, the least and most insignificant of which was like the battle of Kabar, in which battle my father fought and contended against the infidels. Endeavor now to apprehend from these two traditions the mysteries of end, return, and creation without beginning or end. O my beloved, immeasurably exalted is the celestial melody above the strivings of human ear to ear, our mind to grasp its mystery. How can the helpless ant step into the court of the all-glorious, and yet feeble souls, through lack of understanding, reject these abstruse utterances and question the truth of such traditions? Nay, none can comprehend them, save those that are possessed of an understanding heart. Say, he is that end for whom no end in all the universe can be imagined, and for whom no beginning in the world of creation can be conceived. Behold, O concourse of the earth, the splendors of the end, revealed in the manifestations of the beginning. How strange these people with one hand cling to those verses of the Quran and those traditions of the people of Certitude, which they have found to accord with their inclinations and interests. And, it goes beyond your own personal wants. That's the point here. And with the other reject those which are contrary to their selfish desires. Believe ye then part of the book, and deny part. See Quran Surah 2, Ayat 85. How could ye judge that which ye understand not, even as the Lord of being hath in his unerring book, after speaking of the seal in his exalted utterance, Muhammad is the apostle of God, and the seal of the prophets, see Quran Surah 33, Ayat 40, hath revealed unto all people the promise of attainment unto the divine presence. That this attainment to the presence of the immortal King testify the verses of the book, some of which we have already mentioned. The one true God is my witness. Nothing more exalted or more explicit than attainment unto the divine presence hath been revealed in Al-Quran. Well, it is with him that hath attained thereunto, in the day wherein most of the people, even as ye witness, have turned away therefrom. And yet, though the mystery of the former verse, they have turned away from the grace promised by the latter, despite the fact that attainment unto the divine presence in the day... what other verse? Seal of the Prophets. Okay, Surah 33, Ayat 40. In the day of resurrection is explicitly stated in the book. It hath been demonstrated and definitely established through clear evidences that by resurrection is meant the rise of the manifestation of God to proclaim his cause, and by attainment out of the divine presence is meant attainment out of the presence of his beauty and the person of his manifestation. For verily, no vision taketh in him, but he taketh in all vision. See Al-Quran, Surah 6, 801. 6, 803. Notwithstanding all these indubitable facts and lucid statements, they have foolishly clung to the term seal, and remained utterly deprived of the recognition of him who is the revealer of both the seal and the beginning. In the day of his presence, if God should chastise men for the perverse doings, he would not leave upon earth a moving thing, but to an appointed time doth he respite them. See Al-Quran, Surah 16, 61. But apart from all these things, had this people attained unto a drop of the crystal streams flowing from the words, God doeth whatsoever he willeth, and ordaineth whatsoever he pleaseth, they would not have raised any unseemly cavils such as these against the focal center of his revelation, the cause of God. All deeds and words are held within the grasp of his power. All things lie imprisoned within the hollow of his mighty hand. All things are easy and possible unto him. See Al-Quran, Surah 21, 823. Imprisoned is not really the best way to render that, but he accomplished whatsoever he willeth, and doeth all that he desireth. Whoso saith why, or wherefore, hath spoken blasphemy. Were these people to shake off the slumber of negligence, and realize that which their hands have wrought, they would surely perish. They would, of their own accord, cast themselves into the fire, their end and real abode. Have they not heard that which he hath revealed? He shall not be axed of his doings. Okay, that's another quote. Is that Surah 21, 823? Or the other? In the light of these utterances, how can man be so bold as to question him and busy himself with idle sayings? Gracious God, so great is the folly and perversity of the people that they have turned their face toward their own thoughts and desires, and have turned their back upon the knowledge and will of God. Hallowed and glorified be his name. Be fair. Were these people to acknowledge the truth of these luminous words and holy illusions, and recognize God as him that doeth whatever he pleaseth, how could they continue to cleave unto these glaring absurdities? Nay, with all their soul, they would accept and submit to whatever he saith. I swear by God, before the divine decree and the inscrutable dispensations of providence, the earth itself would have utterly destroyed all this people. He will, however, respite them until the appointed time of a known day. 1,280 years have passed since the dawn of the Mohammedan dispensation, and with every break of the day, these blind and ignoble people have recited their Quran, and yet have failed to grasp one letter of that book. Well, that's really overstating it, but again and again they read those verses which clearly testify to the reality of these holy themes, and bear witness to the truth of the manifestations of eternal glory, and still apprehend not their purpose. They have even failed to realize all this time that in every age the reading of the scriptures and holy books is for no other purpose except to enable the reader to apprehend their meaning and unravel their innermost mysteries. Otherwise, reading without understanding is of no abiding profit to man. And one of the things we see said about the prophets is that they're not making it about them. Yeah, he testified that they're the prophet, but it's not about their taste or anything. That, oh, the message, it's like, I just bring the message. There's teachings and stuff that should be followed far more than reference to me. The remembrances of God, And it came to pass that on a certain day a needy man came to visit this soul, craving for the ocean of his knowledge. while conversing with him, mention was made concerning the signs of the day of judgment, resurrection, revival, and reckoning. He urged us to explain how, in this wondrous dispensation, the peoples of the world were brought to a reckoning, when none were made aware of it. Thereupon we imparted unto him, according to the measure of his capacity and understanding, certain truths of science and ancient wisdom. We then asked him, saying, Hast thou not read Al-Quran, and art thou not aware of this blessed verse? On that day shall neither man nor spirit be asked of his sin. See Al-Quran, Surah 55, ayat 39. Dost thou not realize that by asking is not meant asking by the tongue or speech, even as the verse itself doth indicate and prove? For afterwards it is said, By their countenance shall the sinners be known, and they shall be seized by their forelocks and their feet. See Al-Quran, Surah 55, ayat 41. Thus, the peoples of the world are judged by their countenance, by it their misbelief, their faith, and their iniquity are all made manifest, even as it is evident in this day how the people of error are, by their countenance, known and distinguished from the followers of divine guidance. And the forelock is sort of, kind of a reference to your mesocortical system, isn't it? So your control system, and feet, sort of the foundation of how you live your life. Were these people wholly for the sake of God, and with no desire but his good pleasure to ponder the verses of the book in their hearts, they would of a certainty find whatsoever they seek. In its verses, they would find revealed and manifest all the things, be they great or small, that have come to pass in this dispensation. They would even recognize in them references to the departure of the manifestations of the names and attributes of God from out of their native land, to the opposition and disdainful arrogance of government and people, and of the dwelling and establishment of the universal manifestation in an appointed and specially designated land. No man, however, can comprehend this aspect except he who is possessed of an understanding heart. Now, see, they're saying it's a code. All this talk about, well, there's not going to be any need for any more prophets, any more messenger prophets, any more exemplar prophets, that the message is going to remain. And even this book here admits that, it's as pure of a source as you're going to find. The most correct book, as I was raised in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints to turn towards. And other sayings to back up that we are the messengers of messengers. So how can you understand stuff that would be literally wrong in the references that you're going to? How's that understanding? We seal our theme with that which was formerly revealed unto Muhammad, that the seal thereof may shed the fragrance of that holy musk which leadeth men unto the Ridvan of unfading splendor. He said, and his word is the truth, and God calleth to the abode of peace. So Baghdad is what they think is being referred to. And he guideth whom he will unto the right way. See Al-Quran, Surah 10, 825. For them is an abode of peace with their Lord, and he shall be their protector because of their works. See Al-Quran, Surah 6, ayat 127. The house, Dar al-Islam, is that the phrase we're using here? This hath revealed that his grace may encompass the world. Praise be to God, the Lord of all being. We have variously and repeatedly set forth the meaning of every theme that perchance every soul, whether high or low, may obtain according to his measure and capacity, his share and portion thereof. Should he be unable to comprehend a certain argument, he may thus, by referring unto another, attain his purpose, that all sorts of men may know where to quench their thirst. By God, this bird of heaven, now dwelling upon the dust, can, besides these melodies, utter myriad songs, and is able, apart from these utterances, to unfold innumerable mysteries. Every single note of its unpronounced utterances is immeasurably exalted above all that hath already been revealed. And immensely glorified beyond that which hath streamed from this pen. Let the future disclose the hour when the brides of inner meeting will, as decreed by the will of God, hasten forth, unveiled out of their mystic mansions, and manifest themselves in the ancient realm of being. Nothing whatsoever is possible without his permission. No power can endure save through his power, and there is none other God but he. His is the world of creation, and his is the cause of God. All proclaim his revelation, and all unfold the mysteries of his Spirit. We have already in the foregoing pages assigned 2 stations unto each of the luminaries, arising from the day-springs of eternal holiness. One of these stations, the station of essential unity, we have already explained. No distinction do we make between any of them. See Al-Quran, Surah 2, Ayat 136. The other is the station of distinction, and pertaineth to the world of creation, and to the limitations thereof. In this respect, for each manifestation of God hath a distinct individuality, a definitely prescribed mission, a predestined revelation, and specially designated limitations. Each one of them is known by a different name, is characterized by a special attribute, fulfills a definite mission, is entrusted with a particular revelation. Even as he saith, some of the apostles we have caused to excel the others. To some God hath spoken, some he hath raised and exalted, and to Jesus, son of Mary, we gave manifest signs. And we strengthened him with the Holy Spirit. It is because of this difference in their station and mission that the words and utterances flowing from these wellsprings of divine knowledge appear to diverge and differ. Otherwise, in the eyes of them that are initiated into the mysteries of divine wisdom, all their utterances are in reality but the expressions of one truth. As most of the people have failed to appreciate those stations to which we have referred, they, therefore, feel perplexed and dismayed at the varying utterances pronounced by the manifestations that are essentially one and the same. It hath ever been evident that all these divergences of utterances are attributable differences of station, thus viewed from the standpoint of their oneness and sublime detachment. The attributes of God, divinity, supreme singleness, and inmost essence have been and are applicable to those essences of being, inasmuch as they all abide in the throne of divine revelation and are established upon the seat of divine concealment. Strengthen him with the Holy Spirit. See Al-Quran, Surah 2, Ayat 253. Godhead implies either polytheism in terms of more than one God as part of a Godhead, or polytheism as in, oh, well, this is the chief God or the chief gods and this or this, you know. So it's not really an appropriate term for monotheism. Well, I mean, it's not really an appropriate term in a context of monotheism. Through their appearance, the revelation of God is made manifest, and by their countenance, the beauty of God is revealed. Thus it is that the accents of God himself have been heard, uttered by these manifestations of the divine being. Viewed in the light of their second station, the station of distinction, differentiation, temporal limitations, characteristics, and standards, they manifest absolute servitude, utter destitution, and complete self-effacement, even as he saith, I am the servant of God. See Al-Quran, Surah 19:31. I am but a man like you. See Al-Quran, Surah 18:810. From these incontrovertible and fully demonstrated statements, strive thou to apprehend the meaning of the questions thou hast asked. that thou mayest become steadfast in the faith of God, and be not dismayed by the divergencies and the utterances of his prophets and chosen ones. Now, should be no conflict between any of the prophets and stuff. The conflict is between the people who have interpreted or perhaps interpolated or received from the interpolated. Were any of the all-embracing manifestations of God to declare, I am God, he verily speaketh the truth, and no doubt attacheth thereto. For it hath been repeatedly demonstrated that through their revelation, their attributes and names, the revelation of God, his name and his attributes are made manifest unto the world. Thus he hath revealed, those shafts were God's, not thine. See Al-Quran, Surah 8, ayat 17. Well, all creation is a manifestation of God, and therefore it carries out, its purpose and stuff. Or if it's human, or jinn, it doesn't necessarily choose that. And also he saith, in truth, they who plighted fealty unto thee really plighted that fealty unto God. See Al-Quran, Surah 48, ayat 10. Also see ayat 18. And were any of them to voice the utterance, I am the messenger of God, he also speaketh the truth, the indubitable truth, even as he saith, Muhammad is not the father of any man among you, but he is the messenger of God. Well, yeah, don't use metaphors. It's like I am metaphorically God. No prophet of God would have tried to confuse the people like that. Sometimes people forgot that the quote was quoting God, and they were talking about themselves instead. Europe, Asia, Africa, it was done. And probably in the Americas too. It's not as clear with some of those traditions, but viewed in this light, they are all but messengers of that ideal king, that unchangeable essence. And were they all to proclaim, I am the seal of the prophets, they verily utter but the truth, beyond the faintest shadow of doubt. For they are all but one person, one soul, one spirit, one being, one revelation. They are all the manifestation of the beginning and the end, the first and the last, the seen and the hidden, all of which pertain to him who is the innermost spirit of spirits and eternal essence of essences. And were they to say, we are the servants of God, this also is a manifest and indisputable fact, for they have been made manifest in the uttermost state of servitude, a servitude the like of which no man can possibly attain. Thus in moments in which these essences of being were deeply immersed beneath the oceans of ancient and everlasting holiness, or when they soared to the loftiest summits of divine mysteries, they claimed their utterance to be the voice of divinity, the call of God himself. Now see, that's what revelation is that God gives you the words, the direct revelation to the prophets, the direct inspiration.